Hi guys, and welcome back to this week's episode of the 52-week project. This week I photographed Gopika, who is a relatively new model. I think she said she'd been modelling for roughly about 6 months or so. So it was really great to work with Gopika. She was really lovely to work with and quite good, I think, with taking direction as well, which always helps. And I feel like this week we're going to just get straight into the behind the scenes from the day, and I'm going to show you guys a bit of a rundown of the photos about what I liked and what I didn't like about the images, and then we're going to go on to the featured photographer of the week as always. So I'm really excited to keep featuring you guys because I feel like the 52-week project group, especially on Facebook where I'm most present, is just doing so well at the moment, and everyone is just so consistent. It's actually making me feel really bad because I feel like I'm kind of behind at the moment with a lot of my photo shoots, but that is all about to change very soon because I am going to have a bit more time on my hands now. So I'm going to be doing maybe a few more videos on that in the coming weeks, and about an opportunity that I was recently offered and that I did accept. So I'm pretty excited to chat with you more about that later on, but for now we're going to get straight into the video and I'm going to show you some behind the scenes from this week's photo shoot of the 52-week project. That's gorgeous. I'll get you kind of lifting your face a little bit more towards the side. Yep. Through. Yep. Yeah, perfect, just like that. Beautiful. So these are my final images for the week, guys, and this particular photo is going to be in my top 5. I do like how Gopika is posed in this image, and I think she looks really relaxed, and I really like that kind of vibe, especially for such a natural shoot. And I kind of like how she's just sitting on the window ledge as well. The light was really nice at that point, so that's why it's going to be in my top 5 this week. This photo I'm not as much of a fan of. It's probably my least favorite photo for the week. I thought it was stronger than what it actually was in the end, and it was stronger on camera when I first took it, but getting it back onto my computer later on, I just realized that it wasn't as great of an image as I thought it was. I still put it in my final 10 just to fill in the 10 images that I usually send to the agency, and I think it shows off her features well, but it's not going to be in my top 5 for this week. This photo is kind of nice, but I don't really like it as a whole. I think it's quite
boring for me. And this is why I was going on about location before, and I think it can really make a difference sometimes. Obviously, as a photographer, you do have to work with what you're given sometimes, and you will have boring locations that you've got to try and make interesting. I think for this photo, though, in particular, I really could have done a lot more and maybe chosen a different backdrop for this particular image. I think that it's just not as strong as some of my other shots this week, so it's not going to be in my top 5. This photo is going to be in my top 5 this week, and I really like Gopika's look in this photo. I think she looks very strong, and I love how her hair's kind of just breezing over her face, and I really like the image overall. I think it's got a little bit of a fashion element to it as well, and I think it's a good photo for the agency because it shows off her features well once again, so it is going to be in my top 5. This photo is not going to be in my top 5, and I do feel that this photo is missing more of a fashion element. I think it's nice, it's a pretty shot of Gopika, but it's not going to be in my top 5. This photo I do like a lot more than the previous photo, and I think it's because Gopika's expression's a little bit different. I think it's a bit softer, and I think it is bringing a little bit more of a stronger element into the shot in terms of creating interest. I do like the composition of the photo as well, so it is going to be in my top 5. This photo is also going to be in my top 5 for the week, and I really love how it turned out. It's not often that I always get to change photos into black and white because I'm such a color person, but I really do like how this photo turned out. I love Gopika's pose and her expression, and I really like the lighting overall, so it is going to be in my top 5. This photo, I feel like it could have turned out a little bit better, and once again, location I feel is the issue here, and I could have made it a little bit more of an interesting shot, I think, by giving it a different angle. Perhaps a little bit more closer to the ground. If I was shooting closer to the ground and up towards Gopika, it would have been a little bit more of an interesting shot, but overall it's just not going to be in my top 5 this week. This photo is going to be in my top 5, and I really like how it turned out. It's actually very similar to one of the images that I had on the mood board in terms of lighting, and I really wanted to get that similar effect with the dappled lighting, and I wasn't able to get that with a lot of the images this week because of the weather and how crazy it's been in Melbourne. It's just been raining, so this particular shot was one of the ones I managed to get the dappled lighting for, so it is going to be in my top 5. This photo is not going to be in my top 5 this week, but I do think it's a fairly strong image still. I think that it does have a bit of a fashion element to it, so I still like the shot overall. I think it just could have been that little bit more interesting. I probably could have even turned it into black and white and created that interest even more there. But I think for this week's shoot, I just don't think it's a strong enough shot for me to put it in my top 5, so it's not going to be in there this week. This photo is going to be my number 1 for the week, and I really think it just nailed what I was after with this shoot. Although I really like the other dappled light shot, and I think that was really what I was going for with the mood board as well, I think I prefer this shot overall because it does have that raw, natural element to it, and it still has a bit of a fashion element to it as well, so that's why it's going to be my number 1 for the week.
Really hope you guys enjoyed the behind the scenes this week and the rundown of the images. So one thing that I think I did well this week was, once again, I was trying to get more of a raw kind of look with this photo shoot, and I sometimes think that this is the hardest thing to do. I think natural shots are harder to take than what they look. I think sometimes you can look at a natural shot and think, oh, that was probably taken about 2 seconds, not much thought going into it, but I think it's kind of the opposite, and I actually really struggle when it comes to really peeling back my work and making it a little bit more refined in a natural sense. Because I think sometimes there's just so much going on in my head when it comes to organising a photo shoot and being creative and thinking of all these different ways to create an interesting photo shoot. And sometimes you get so hung up on hair and makeup and styling, you know, the whole element of a fashion shoot. And then you sort of forget about, I don't know, I think on a natural shoot it's a lot harder to sort of take that stuff away and just focus on really creating a raw shoot. So I think that's something that I did well this week. I really tried to stick to getting a few shadows and lighting, different lighting techniques in the shots, and I think I did that pretty well. I think one thing that I could have improved on this week, and this is sort of becoming a bit of a ongoing theme with some of my shoots lately, is that I've been sort of stuck in the same location, and it's not necessarily out of choice. It sort of has been, but I've been really confined to the weekends with organising photo shoots and a very small time frame. So sometimes it's kind of been necessary for me to shoot around the suburb that I live in because it's a close option and it's been easy for me. But sometimes I do get really bored with that sort of thought process and with that sort of location. My next photo shoot is actually in the same location as well. I've done a few photo shoots already in this area, so I think I'm just getting really bored with it at the moment, and I think that's one thing that I need to change for coming weeks. I want to do some different location work. I need to get more into studio as well. That's something that I haven't done a lot of lately, and it's something that I actually did try on this photo shoot. I think you might have seen something behind the scenes, I can't remember, but I did try to use the lights originally. So yeah, I definitely want to get back into a studio environment and really start improving my work there and developing with that. So I think that that's something that I'm going to consider for future weeks. And just doing more stuff at home if I'm time poor. I do have a bit of a studio set up. It's not much, but it's enough for me to start practicing more, even with beauty and stuff like that, that doesn't really take a lot of space. So that's something that I do want to try and improve on for coming weeks. So guys, it is now time for me to announce the featured photographer of the week. And this week I'm featuring Katherina Vang, who is on the 52-week project group on Facebook. And I really love the photos that she put up recently from her road trip that she recently went on. And I like the fact that she was trying out some different poses than what she'd usually do. And I really liked the images overall. I really liked the outfits as well, really fashion orientated. And I think she definitely deserves a feature this week. So I put her social media links in the description box below and in this video. So that's the end of this week's 52-week project video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, and if you would like to join the groups on Facebook and Flickr, the links are down below in the description box. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do for more 52-week videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!